Alright, so I've been on a bit of a mission. Okay, this is just standard pure video. Because the company that produces some of my least favorite color science, how about this, made some pretty nice new hardware. Let me back up. So a year and a half ago, I reviewed the Osmo Pocket 3, and I pointed out that that camera had no competition, and I was willing to bet a lot of money that this company is gonna be next. Insta360. Well, I should have put some dollars down because say hello to the Insta360 Luna Ultra. A compact camera on a built-in gimbal that can shoot up to 8K 30 via one of these two lenses. That's a 20mm and a 60mm equivalent. This camera is an incredibly strong entry into this product space because it has two features that this sort of camera was missing. One, a viable zoom, two, a removable screen. But it's also an Insta360 product, and there are two things with Insta360 that I've always had a bit of a problem with. First, the marketing. The company pays just about every creator to make a video about its cameras. And the problem with that is then Insta360 gets to control what folks say, and more importantly, what they don't say. Which means you're not getting an honest review. Which is why I'm very proud to say, this company, they've never paid me a dime. They have no say over what I say, and they will not be seeing, dude, hey, come down. Come over here. Hello? They'll not be seeing this video before any of you. Sorry, I'm testing the tracking feature, which honestly is pretty good, but it's not very fast. Anyway, the other thing I don't like about Insta360 is its camera's color science. I'm Becca, I take it outside. Let's get back to that journey I've been on. Alright. On the left is the new Luna Ultra, and on the right is Insta360's X5. That's a 360 camera that has some of my least favorite color science. 360 cameras are metering for the entire scene. So if the sky above me is really bright and my face is in shadow, then yeah, it's gonna be darker. Which is why a camera like this is much better suited for filming cars or landscapes or places where the environment is more of the subject. And then there is the Ace Pro 2. This is the company's flagship action camera. This camera isn't exposing for everything, and yet it's a bit of a loose cannon in the color department. Well, not all color, just specifically faces. Look at how different my skin tone looks across all of these different scenes. Sometimes it's blotchy like this, highlighting all the dark spots on my face, and then other times it's just sort of this blanket flesh color. I just don't love the way that I look through this lens, despite this camera having some incredible hardware. But I'm making an entire action camera guide that I should have wrapped up by the end of the summer, so make sure you tune back in for when I drop that. Okay, but back to Luna. I'm happy to report that this camera captures a lot more detail in faces, and is therefore able to capture skin tones much more naturally.
Oh yeah! Shut up! Okay, that was honestly, I'm just impressed.
But I shot most of that in the log profile. It looks like this straight out of the camera, which then allows you in post the flexibility to adjust colors and contrast to the way you like them, or download the many different pre-made LUTs from other users, or the company itself. In this mode, the image is far less processed. It's less over-sharpened, and therefore just a bit more cinematic and pleasing. But it's also a pain, because there are many modes in which you can't use L-Log. Night mode? Forget about it. Time-lapse? You wish. Even the slow motion mode, where the video is saved so that it plays back in slow motion, it locks you out of L-Log. And while we're talking about being locked out, if you're shooting 8K, you can't switch between lenses when recording. You're stuck with the one you started recording with. And if you're not using L-Log, you're probably using the standard color profile. Because although there are these presets, I don't find them all that pleasing. And that standard profile, wowee, is it saturated. Look at the reds here, the blue here. Now, some folks may love this very saturated, high contrast look, bright faces, but for me, it's not my favorite. Not to mention, the camera is very quick to adjust colors. Watch how the sky completely changes color here. How white balance will just quickly shift here. Even contrast level, when switching between the lenses, can very much vary. And when I'm recording, it's not that I don't want the camera to adjust for these changes, it's just that I wish it would do it more subtly. Alright, but now it is time to ask my most favorite question of any camera I review. Can it replace the cameras that I use to make money? Those are the cameras that I record my ad spaces with. For the ad space in this video, I tried out the Luna Ultra. So tune in, let me know how it did, and we'll talk about it after. I even recorded the audio using the new Insta360 Mic Pro. Use your ears and your eyes. Alright folks, it's new projector day. This is the brand new Xgimi Elfin Flip 4K. That is so small. It's a portable 4K projector that has all of the goodness of a home projector, but it's in a package that you can actually move around and take places. Plus, right now it's 10% off because it just launched. Spec-wise, we got lossless 4K via optical zoom, which means the screen size can be massive or it can be small, and you still get a great picture. Plus auto keystone and focus, so you don't have to mess with that. And then there's 1600 ISO lumens of brightness for viewing during the day, and even Harman Kardon tuning so you don't need external speakers. Not to mention, we got ports. I'm talking 2 HDMI ports, 1 with eARC, 2 USB-C ports, and an audio out. And all of this fits in this little package. It folds right up and can be brought anywhere. If you know me, you know projectors, they replaced my TVs a long time ago. But now I have one that I can bring to other people's homes to replace theirs too. Links down in the bio, and remember, it's 10% off for a limited time only. Thank you, Xgimi, for sponsoring this video. Now, how did this camera and mic do? Okay, Luna Ultra, I'm pretty impressed. You see, filming projectors can be a little tough, because typically the product is much darker than the environment, than the image it is projecting. It's a very high contrast scene. But for the most part, the Luna Ultra did all right. And the process of filming this projector was great. I particularly liked how the tracking feature was actually able to hold on to the ports here. So then I was able to just move my arm laterally and not have to worry about panning. I also went in and locked my shutter speed so the camera wouldn't pick up any banding. Now, navigating this tiny screen is never easy. It takes a lot of dexterity, but that's just the trade-off to having a camera that's truly pocketable. The only time I didn't love the performance of this camera was this shot. I'm heavily backlit here, and you can see the camera really struggling to expose from my face and the windows. Oh, and let's talk about the mic. The Insta360, what is that thing called? The Insta360 Mic Pro. I think it sounds pretty good. I'm gonna put my little logo on it, cute, right? But there is a problem. That is a heavy mic. Oh, it's so heavy. That looks so dumb. Okay, but by far, and this was proven when I was filming those projectors, the best feature of this camera is the removable remote. So I'm filming the top down for the projector sequence, and it is so incredibly nice to just do that and bada bing, have the whole screen right here, even though it's very small, and be able to put this down here. Yeah, this is a pretty sweet feature. Insta360 made big changes to the action camera space when they added this screen that flips up. You can see yourself on a much larger display. It's so helpful. And with the Luna Ultra, they also disrupted this hardware a bit with the removable screen. You don't have to, you don't have to pair the camera to your phone and go through that whole rigmarole. No, you have like a native screen that you could take off, mount your camera anywhere and still see. Should I zoom out? No. Should I zoom in? Whoa. Now, it's not perfect. It has this great feature where you can use it as a mic, so your camera could be mounted on your car, but you could still hear yourself clearly inside of it. All right, folks, we have arrived. And when you do this, the image is significantly degraded. But in my experience, this doesn't affect recording or the audio. I also want to note that there's very little lag here. Hell yeah, Insta360, you killed it with this. Now, there are a few more things we need to go over. First, the lenses. As I'm sure you're familiar with, moving between lenses on a phone can often cause jarring shifts in color and perspective, and that's sometimes true here too. If objects are close to the camera, that's when you're going to see the perspective shifts, but more noticeable are sometimes the color shifts, especially in low light. And I think that's because of the aperture differences. It's small, but the wide-angle lens is an f1.8, and the tele's an f2, meaning that the tele lets in slightly less light. I've also been surprised by how much sharper the tele is, especially at night. I mean, this lens is great. Focus is sharp, focus pleasing, and the parallaxing you can achieve is, of course, lovely. I've found myself using this lens far more than the wide. But as you could guess, the 12x zoom option ain't nothing more than punching into this lens, which means it gets grainy. The 6x zoom option also punches in on the tele, but it's far more acceptable. Oh, and the zoom toggle, I think is a little shallow. Like, I wish I could push a little bit further up and down and then therefore control the speed of the zoom, like more of a push gives me more, like a faster zoom. Now, this is the point of the video where I'd want to compare this camera to its main competitor. That's the Osmo Pocket 4P. But holy cow, what a mess the rollout of that camera, what a mess the rollout of this camera have been. I have had time with it, but I can't talk too much about it, though I can talk about the UI. Yeah, someone copied the homework. It is practically one for one. So stay tuned, I'll have that review coming in about a month. Now, as great as this camera has been, there have been some problems as well. First, the boot time. It feels like it takes forever to turn on, made only worse by the fact that you can flip it open oh so quick, but then you're left waiting for an image to appear. I've also found the battery to be a bit lackluster, though this isn't new for this type of camera. I was lucky to get about halfway through a day of heavy filming before I needed to top it off again. You will also notice that the grip gets toasty after heavy use. Ooh. That is toasty to the touch, for sure. And that's in 4K. I'm not one to shoot 8K. Next, I need to talk about how this is a first-gen product. I have gone through many software updates in my time with it, and while a lot of my problems have been solved, there have been problems, and you'll probably find some too. Like some folks have reported a jitter or a lag when panning. I saw one person whose internal memory crashed, and I experienced a glitch where when I took the remote off the camera and filmed and zoomed, this would happen. And even with the most current software, I was having this issue where I couldn't get the image to lock in landscape. And then we really don't know about longevity. And I don't think any of those reasons are reason enough for you not to buy, but you should keep them in mind. Depending on where you are, I'd also wait till you can maybe buy the DJI version of this camera, the 4P. When that camera launches, I mean, there'll be a plethora of videos comparing those two coming out, including one from me. And yeah, I mean, you might see some deals too. Competition is always good for the consumer. Okay, there's one more thing I need to talk about, and I'm gonna get on my soapbox for a second. I just hate the marketing around this product, around a lot of DJI products. They just completely buy out the review space, and when you buy out the review space, then no review is real. And not only does it ruin the credentials of the folks who take that money, but it also ruins mine, because then you also don't trust me. I'm not paid for this review. This is actually what I think of this camera. And I mean, everyone's got to make their money. I get it. But man, yeah, it just makes me not want to buy products from companies that do that. You know, it makes it feel icky in a way. And I'd love to know what you think of the marketing below as a consumer, as someone who's not a reviewer. Can you see right through it? Can you know who to trust and who not to? I don't know. I'm just looking for some feedback there. I don't plan to take money from Insta360 or DJI, but yeah, it's just something I am inherently a part of. Okay, I'm Becca. I appreciate you so much. I'll see you in the comments, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one too. Oh man, that was a lot of feelings. I'm sorry. I don't know. It's just something that really bugs me. And astrologically, I'm a Cancer. So I gotta share my feelings, you know? I can't hide them. I simply can't hide them.